Good morning to all. Myself, Dr. TV Nagaraju. I am working as an associate professor in Department of IT, MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. In the today's session, we are going to discuss about an introduction to exception handling. So, in this session, we will discuss what is an exception, how to we handle the exception, what are the different types of exceptions, simply the hierarchy of exceptions. We will discuss each and everything in the today's session. Now, coming to the first point, what is this one? What is an exception? So, suppose you are writing a program, how the program is executed, first to statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 and so on. The program is executed line by line. During the execution of the program, if any event occurred or any interrupt occurred, what happened? The normal flow of the program is disturbed. The event that occurred is called exception. See this one? Exception is simply an event that disturbs the normal flow of the program. For example, suppose if I am speaking something to you. Meanwhile, if I want to say some paragraph to you. Meanwhile, if some other person come and interrupt me. So, what happened? My normal flow of sequence is stopped because of that person. So, that person is called exception. That person is called exception. Now, what you need to do? You need to handle the exception. Why? If you are not handle the exception, the normal flow is disturbed. If the normal flow is disturbed means the output is wrong. So, whenever an exception occurred in the program, you need to handle the exception. That is called exception handling. That is called exception handling. Now, what is the hierarchy? How we divide the exception? Remember, throwable is the superclass. Anyway, what is the superclass for all the Java applications? Everyone know object. Object is the superclass for any type of Java application. Coming to this scenario of exceptions, the name of the superclass is throwable. Throwable is the name of the superclass. This throwable is extended by two subclasses. One subclass name is exception, another subclass name is error. Observe capital is. If it is a small e, that is a normal error. Here this is a class. Now, throwable is the superclass. This class is extended by two subclasses. One is exception, another one is error. Now, you need to know what is the difference between error and exception. First, I will move to that one. Okay, here then, here. So, error. What is mean by error? Assume this diagram. This is a Java development kit. That is my JDK software. My JDK software. Error is an event that occurred not inside the application. For example, I am writing some program. One error is there. The error is stack overflow error. That is not related to my Java program. Suppose one error is out of memory error. That is not related to my application. That is related to my system. So, you got it? So, if entire thing is a JDK, in that error is an environment disturbance that is not inside the application. So, it is not possible to handle. Why? It is inside the application, then I will write some code and I will handle. But error occurred not inside the software, it is outside the software, that is error. Example are stack overflow error, virtual error, out of memory error, all those are some type of errors. Now this is not the case. For our case is exception. Exception in the sense simply a disturbance that occur in our Java application. If a problem occurred in our application, that is called exception. Now, inside the application means it is possible to handle. So, we can handle the application errors inside the Java application. Now, final point is, our agenda is you need to discuss about exception. Now you understand what is the definition. Exception is simply an event that disturbs the normal flow. These exceptions are divided into two types. One is checked exception. Second one is unchecked exception. What is the difference? You know the basic scenario how a Java program is executed. First, I written some source code, that is my Java program. What is stage 1? Stage 1 is compilation. So, like this, I do compilation like this, Java C space sample.java. This is the first step. Once that compilation is completed, what it generates? It generates bytecode. It is also called as .class file. Now, second step is this bytecode is loaded into the JVM and execute like this, Java space sample. Execute like this. Clear? Now, two stages are, one is compilation, another one is execution. Yes or no? Now, at the time of compilation, if I given the source code, the compiler do the compilation. If you identify any exception at the time of compilation, those are called checked exceptions. Simple example. Here I want to compile the file java c space sample.java. Suppose if the sample program is not available but I want to compile, then it returns one error, file not found error, class not found error. You got it? If you want to execute compulsory, this must be available. Suppose if it is not available, how do I compilation? So, the errors that are identified at the time of compilation are called checked exception, and unchecked exception means obviously the exceptions that are identified at the time of execution. At the time of execution, in the sense, in my program, I want to perform some division operation. Suppose C is equal to A by B. Syntactically, the program is correct. It does not give any error. If I given A value is equal to 10, B value is equal to 2. What is the answer? C is equal to 10 by 2. The answer is 5 for perfect. Suppose if I given A is equal to 10, B is equal to 0, what happened? Infinite. That is a problem. That is an exception. Where that occurred? Whenever I given the input at the time of execution, then only the type of exception occurred. So, those are called unchecked exception, like arithmetic exception, array index out of bounds exception, null pointer exception, etc. These are different types of unchecked exceptions. Okay. Now, coming to conclusion, here in this session, what we will discuss? What is an exception? What is the need of handling the exception? What is the hierarchy of throwable? So, throwable is extended by two subclasses. One is exception, another one is error. A disturbance that occur inside the application is called exception. A disturbance that occurred inside the environment, that is outside the application, that is called error. By using my Java program, it is not possible to handle the error. It is possible to handle the exceptions. Now, these exceptions are divided into two types. One is checked exception, another one is unchecked exception. Another one is unchecked exception. Okay. So, these are the things that are related to exception handling. Now, in the next session, what we will discuss? what are the keywords that are used for handling the exception, what happened if you are not handle the exception, and how to we handle the exception with example programs, that we will discuss in the next session. That is the end of today's session. Thank you.